Welcome to my channel. Chapter 1. The Silence After Earth. The stars remembered humanity long after Earth had fallen. Not because humans were the strongest, not because they possessed the largest fleets, not because they ruled the galaxy. The galaxy remembered them because they refused to disappear. 500 years had passed since Earth vanished beneath a storm of fire during the final collapse. Millions believed humanity had become extinct. Galactic museums displayed broken human helmets. Children learned about humans as legends. Historians called them the Lost Builders. Others called them the Impossible Species. Only one secret remained hidden. One human had survived. Far beyond the mapped borders of civilized space drifted an ancient station. Designation: Outpost Epsilon 9. Its reactor had been running for nearly 6 centuries. Warning lights blinked endlessly. Metal groaned beneath centuries of isolation. Inside the station, a cryogenic chamber finally opened. Cold vapor flooded the room. A pair of tired blue eyes slowly opened. Commander Elias Rowan inhaled for the first time in 500 years. The computer spoke. "Good morning, Commander." He blinked. "What year is it?" "Galactic Standard Year, 6842. Silence. Elias closed his eyes. "They're all gone." The AI answered quietly. "Yes." Chapter 2. A Galaxy That Forgot. The station AI was called Athena. She had waited alone for centuries. Every single day she checked Elias's life signs. Every single day she hoped someone would come. Nobody ever did. Athena displayed a holographic map. Civilizations had changed. Empires had risen. Entire species had gone extinct. The old human colonies no longer existed. Earth wasn't even marked on modern maps. Instead, it simply read, "Origin World. Unknown." Elias stared at the words. Humanity had become a myth. Chapter 3. The First Signal. Athena interrupted the silence. "Commander, I am detecting an emergency transmission." Elias frowned. "From who?" "Unknown vessel." The hologram expanded. A damaged exploration ship drifted toward the station. Life support. 12%. Hull integrity. Auto %. Weapons. Offline. The transmission played. "This is the research vessel Dawn Seeker. Anyone receiving, please respond." Static. Attack. Then silence. Elias stood. After 5 centuries, someone needed help. Without hesitation, he smiled. "Looks like humanity still has work to do." Chapter 4. Ghost of the Old War. The station's hidden hangar doors slowly opened. Dust floated through the air. Inside rested humanity's final warship, the HSS Valor. Unlike modern ships, the Valor wasn't elegant. It wasn't beautiful. It looked like determination forged into steel. Heavy armor, massive railguns, an experimental jump drive, a ship built not to intimidate, but to survive. Athena smiled through the speakers. "I kept her ready." Elias placed a hand on the hull. "You never gave up. I was programmed not to." Chapter 5. First Contact. Again. Minutes later, the Valor emerged from hyperspace. The Dawn Seeker was surrounded. 3 pirate cruisers fired relentlessly. Alien crew members rushed through burning corridors. Their captain shouted, "We're finished." Then, one pirate ship exploded. No warning, no communication, just a single kinetic round traveling faster than sound. Every scanner froze. Unknown warship detected. The pirates turned. They had never seen anything like it. An ancient vessel, covered in scratches. Human markings barely visible beneath centuries of wear. A transmission opened. A calm voice echoed through every bridge. "This is Commander Elias Rowan of the human Starfleet." Silence followed. "I believe you're attacking civilians." The pirates laughed. "There are no humans." Elias smiled. "There is now." The railguns fired again. Chapter 6. One ship against 3. The bridge of the HSS Valor remained silent. Commander Elias Rowan stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the pirate fleet through the main viewport. 500 years had changed the galaxy, but one thing had not. Bullies always believed numbers guaranteed victory. The pirate flagship transmitted again. "You've had your dramatic entrance, old man. Surrender your ship, and we'll make your death quick." Elias chuckled softly. "I've heard better threats from cadets." The pirate captain frowned. "Destroy him." 3 cruisers accelerated toward the Valor. Athena spoke calmly. "Enemy missiles locked. Permission to return fire?" she asked. Elias nodded. "Let's remind the galaxy how humans fought." The Valor's ancient railguns roared. Instead of energy beams, massive tungsten slugs crossed space at impossible speed. The first pirate cruiser split cleanly in half. The second lost its engines. The third turned to flee. Elias didn't pursue. He simply opened a channel. "Run. Tell everyone you met a human today." The surviving pirates vanished into hyperspace. Chapter 7. The crew that didn't believe. The damaged research ship drifted closer. Its captain, a silver-furred alien named Captain Lyra, stared in disbelief. You're human." "I am, but humans disappeared centuries ago, so I keep hearing." The crew boarded the Valor cautiously. They expected a war machine filled with soldiers. Instead, they found only one man and one AI. Lyra looked around. "Where is the rest of your crew?" Elias smiled sadly. "They're waiting for me among the stars." Silence filled the hangar. Even strangers understood the weight of those words. Worth leaving. Chapter 8. Humanity's Reputation. Over dinner, Lyra asked the question everyone feared. "Were the legends true?" Elias raised an eyebrow. "Which ones?" "That humans never surrendered." He laughed. "We surrendered plenty of battles." She looked confused. "But never the war." Elias nodded. "Exactly." Athena projected old recordings. Human doctors treating enemy soldiers. Human engineers rebuilding alien cities after disasters. Human firefighters rushing into collapsing stations. Human soldiers shielding civilians they had never met. Lyra whispered, "You weren't remembered as conquerors." "No, you are remembered as protectors." Elias looked out at the stars. "That's the only legacy worth leaving." Chapter 9. A Dangerous Truth. Athena interrupted. "Commander, long-range sensors detect multiple warships." Lyra's face turned pale. The Dominion. Dozens of sleek black battleships emerged from hyperspace. Their commander appeared on screen. "You identify yourself as human." "I do." "Impossible." "So people keep saying." The Dominion commander narrowed his eyes. "Hand over your technology. Humanity belongs in history." Elias folded his arms. History has a funny habit of coming back. Chapter 10. The Last Human Stands. The Dominion fleet surrounded the Valor. One tiny human ship. 40 enemy warships. Lyra whispered, "We can't win." Elias smiled. "I've been outnumbered before." Athena began activating forgotten systems. Ancient defense satellites awakened across the system. Hidden drone factories powered on. Old human beacons lit up one after another. Across the galaxy, silent stations that had slept for centuries received a single message. Priority Alpha. Commander alive. Human protocol reawakened. Far beyond the battlefield, abandoned shipyards came to life. Factories restarted. Defense grids powered up. The Dominion commander stared in horror as thousands of dormant human machines awakened. Elias looked at the enemy fleet with calm determination. "You thought I was the last human." He paused. "You never asked what humanity left behind." Chapter 11. The Awakening. Across forgotten sectors, ancient human technology stirred after centuries of silence. Deep beneath the surface of abandoned moons, massive vault doors rumbled open. Orbital factories reignited. Defense satellites aligned toward the stars. Automated shipyards, untouched for 500 years, received the same encrypted command. Priority Alpha confirmed. Commander Elias Rowan verified. One by one, lights flickered on across the galaxy like distant constellations returning to life. On the bridge of the HSS Valor, Athena smiled for the first time in centuries. "They're responding." Elias watched the tactical display fill with green icons. They never stopped listening. Chapter 12. Fear spreads. The Dominion fleet intercepted the awakening signals. At first, they laughed. Old machines cannot stop an empire. Then the reports began arriving. Outpost Sigma has gone offline. Our scout fleet disappeared. Automated defense platforms are active. Navigation routes have been blocked. The laughter vanished. The Dominion Admiral tightened his grip on the command chair. How many installations did humanity leave behind? No one had an answer. For centuries, the galaxy believed humans had vanished. No one imagined they had prepared for the day someone would return. Chapter 13. The Human Promise. Captain Lyra stood beside Elias. "Why build all of this if your people were gone?" Elias looked toward the stars. "Because hope is an investment. When humanity explored the galaxy, we never assumed we'd always be here. We built hospitals, research stations, emergency shelters, and defense networks, not for ourselves alone, but for anyone who might need them." Lyra stared at him. "So all of this, Daughter never meant to create an empire," Elias finished. "It was meant to protect the future." Athena projected a message recorded centuries earlier by the founders of the human Starfleet. "If one human survives, let them choose compassion before conquest. Let our strength exist to defend, never to dominate." Silence filled the bridge. Even the alien officers felt the weight of those words. Chapter 14. The siege begins. The Dominion refused to retreat. Hundreds of fighters surged toward the Valor. Energy beams lit the darkness of space. Athena spoke calmly. Enemy closing rapidly. Elias took a steady breath. "Activate Sentinel Network." Thousands of hidden defense drones emerged from nearby asteroids. They moved with perfect coordination, intercepting missiles and shielding civilian ships. The battle raged for hours, but something surprised every observer. The human machines targeted weapons, engines, and shields, not escape pods. The Dominion crews were left alive. Captain Lyra whispered, "Even now, you refuse unnecessary killing." Elias answered quietly, "Victory means nothing if you lose your humanity." Chapter 15. A Signal to the Galaxy. When the battle finally paused, Athena opened every communication channel across known space. Billions watched as Commander Elias Rowan stood before the camera. "My name is Elias Rowan. I am a human. I did not return to reclaim the galaxy. I returned because innocent lives are in danger. Our worlds may be different, our languages may be different, but fear, hope, and courage are understood by every species. Humanity's greatest weapon was never our ships. It was our choice to stand beside those who needed us. If the galaxy still believes in that future, then stand with us. The transmission ended. For several long moments, the stars were silent. Then one by one, ships from dozens of civilizations changed course. Not because they feared the last human, because they believed him. Chapter 16. The Fleet of Hope. For several minutes nothing happened. Then Athena's sensors chimed. Incoming hyperspace signatures. Dozens. No. Hundreds. Captain Lyra held her breath. The first ship emerged from hyperspace, a small medical frigate bearing the emblem of the Valoran Union. Moments later came a cargo convoy from the Chorus Republic, then a patrol squadron from the Orion Coalition. One by one, ships from across the galaxy arrived, forming a vast fleet around the HSS Valor. None of them were the largest or the most powerful, but together, they represented something the Dominion had never expected. Unity. An elderly alien admiral opened a channel to Elias. My grandfather told me stories about humans. He said when they asked for help, it meant everyone was in danger. Elias smiled. Thank you for coming. The admiral shook his head. No, Commander. Thank you for giving the galaxy something worth fighting for. Chapter 17. The Secret Behind Earth's Fall. As the Allied fleet prepared for the coming battle, Athena uncovered a classified archive hidden deep within the Valor's memory core. The file had been locked for over 5 centuries. Only one person could open it. Commander Elias Rowan. He entered his command code. The hologram flickered to life. An old woman appeared on the screen. She wore the uniform of the Human High Council. If you are seeing this, then Earth is gone. Elias felt his heart sink. The woman continued. Earth was not destroyed because humanity was weak. It was sacrificed. The room fell silent. The enemy sought an ancient power hidden beneath Earth's crust. Technology capable of controlling entire star systems. We refused to let it fall into their hands. So humanity made the hardest choice in its history. We destroyed our own world to save every other world. Elias closed his eyes. The burden humanity had carried was greater than anyone had imagined. Chapter 18. The Dominion's Final Weapon. The Dominion's Supreme Commander was furious. Prepare the Eclipse Cannon. Every officer on the bridge hesitated. Sir, that weapon will destroy everything within the sector. I gave an order. Deep inside the flagship, a colossal superweapon began charging. Its energy shook nearby planets. Athena's voice grew tense. Commander, if that cannon fires, millions of civilians will die. Elias looked at the tactical display. There has to be another way. Captain Lyra spoke. The cannon draws power from a single reactor. Athena analyzed the data. If we can disable that reactor, the weapon will shut down. Elias nodded. Then that's our mission. Chapter 19. Into the Lion's Den. The HSS Valor accelerated straight toward the Dominion flagship. Enemy fire surrounded them. Explosions rocked the hull. Warning alarms echoed through every deck. Athena remained calm. Shields at 40%. 32. 21. Lyra looked at Elias. We're not going to make it. Elias smiled. We don't have to. At the last second, the Valor released dozens of autonomous drones. They raced toward the flagship's reactor. The Dominion fleet focused all its fire on the Valor, unaware of the tiny machines slipping through their defenses. Seconds later, the drones reached their target. A brilliant flash erupted inside the flagship. The Eclipse Cannon powered down. The superweapon fell silent. Cheers erupted across the Allied fleet. Chapter 20. Humanity Lives On. The Dominion surrendered. Across the galaxy, celebrations began. But Elias knew the victory belonged to everyone who had stood together. Months later, representatives from every major civilization gathered on a peaceful world to honor the last human. A monument was unveiled. It did not depict a soldier with a weapon. It showed a human extending an open hand. Beneath it were engraved the words, "Strength is measured not by the worlds you conquer, but by the lives you protect." Captain Lyra stood beside Elias. "You were the last human." Elias looked around at children from dozens of species, playing together beneath the monument. He smiled. "No." He shook his head gently. "I was simply the last one to arrive." As hope spread across the stars once more, humanity's greatest legacy was no longer a forgotten legend. It was alive in every act of courage, compassion, and unity. The end. Thanks for watching.